It's your big day. It's your big day. It's your big day. It's your big every day I play in the sunshine, it's so heavenly. Oh, oh, oh. I feel it in my soul. Do you feel it in your soul? It's so big, it's so big, it's so big. Bingo day, bingo day, bingo day, bingo. It's yo, 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 big day. Oh. It's your big day, yo.
Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness. I'm actually naked right now. I'm actually naked. It's like such a beautiful day today. I'm loving it. Like, it's so like oshi goshi whoosh. Like, it's just whooshy out the top of the dissomes. I'm feeling really good. It's like, it's a beautiful day. Like, the birds are chirpy lurpies. Like, I'm feeling like ever so like lurksome naked on the microphoneses. But on the rizzles, it's a beautiful day. We're gonna jump right into this. I'm actually having a busy day today. And I know you're not supposed to say that when you're in your transmission, but I really want to get this in whilst I am divinely inspired. The length will be there. This isn't a rushed transmission. However, I'm just really excited to share this with everyone. So excuse the energy. We are just really excited to get this in. So this is the Vibe Guide. 1-on-1. You on you. Yes, it is. Yes, we have the paper out. We have the pamphlet out. We have the notebook. We have the notebook out today. It's such a beautiful day. I'm really happy. Tribe, are you loving it today? Are you loving it? Because it's actually something to be adorbs with. I have so many transmissions in me right now. I just don't know how to do it because the day is that orgasmic. Are you feeling that in orgy? Are you feeling the in orgy? The in orgy. 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 It's your big day. Yeah. So today, there's a really popular song right now, and I fell in love with it. It's called Sugar Crash, and by the time this transmission actually comes through, I'm not sure if it'll be extremely relevant still, but the whole entire continuum just fell down on me. The stars aligned, and there was a if you know what I mean. When there was a and then you see it. I want you to imagine, okay, close your eyes. Now imagine there are two lights crossing behind you, but like just some above your head, like over to your left. What would that mean to you? You feel me? This is the line of love. We love you. We are feeling it today. We are feeling oh so good today. We are feeling oh so good today. We are feeling very good today. Very good today. Very jubilant today. Very expanded today. Very lovely today. Very awesome today. Very radiant today. It's your big day. So, Sugar Crash. What this song is actually about is about energy, and it's about our actual inner laboratory. And, it's about this person's individuated experience, of course, but we're going to take that and actually talk about how that's relevant in our real life and why we need to address the sugar crash or the sugar body, or to go deeper, the chemical body, our energetic body, our lifestyle, our habits, and our impulses. And this is extremely powerful. I just want to get this in. A lot of people struggle with impulses, and a lot of people struggle with just wanting to feel better, and they want to feel good emotionally. And this is really serious. This is like a dope ass transmission. Like I'm tired of like dumbing it down. You owe me $1 trillion. You actually owe me $1 trillion. You're welcome. I don't know who the fuck that just was. It doesn't matter. But you owe me $1 trillion fucking dollars. Okay? Because I'm addressing that shit. Okay? You're welcome. So, here's what's up. When we're living our lives, it's very, very challenging to deal with some of the obstacles that this person's going all out there. They must be having a lot of fun. They're actually going all out there. But I can't stop today. The thing is, it's extremely important that you understand the relationship between your state of being and your chemical body. When your chemical body is out of control and it's needing to be calibrated, when you need dopamine, when you need oxytocin, when you need endorphins, when you need the chemical releases associated with states of being that feel good or relaxing or euphoric or blissful or joyful or peaceful, which isn't the same thing as blissful, but normally we'll talk about that later in another transmission. But joy the higher states of emotion can't really exist without the lower peaceful frequencies. And this isn't a lower frequency. It's more like the base, the foundational frequency would be peace. Why is that? And this is related, so it must be coming out the channel. But the base frequency is peace. You can't really truly express the higher states of being with regards to emotion, like joy, love, and happiness, without a foundation of peace in a pure frequency. The frequency would become adulterated. And why is that? Well, one of the reasons why that is because in order to express the higher frequencies, you actually have to feel safe enough to do it. This is why people feel shy, or they don't feel extroverted, or they feel introverted. You actually have to feel safe enough to express the higher level emotions. And you have to have a good relationship with them. You know, some people, they see other people acting out loud or living out loud, and they're doing it in a way that is actually annoying or agitating, or they impeded upon someone's, I'm not sure if I use it impeded correctly there, but they impeded someone else's joy in their day. And so what happens is, what happens is they don't really want to be that kind of person. And so we need to be careful about that as well, because other people's behavior sometimes keeps us from expressing our own personal joy. And so we go, well, it's better to be more mellow, because when people get like that, you know, it's crazy. Like that's not necessary to live. But the problem with that is, when we don't express the higher level emotions, we don't become familiar with them. And it's important as a intellectual, and it's important as a technological being, because as this light being, as this flesh being, as this humanoid, what you are is actually technology. And you're designed to learn, and you're designed to calibrate to the environment. And vice versa, you're also designed to calibrate the environment to suit your needs. Because that's what's been allowed, to the extent that it can be. So, understand that when you don't get to experience the higher states of emotions, you're also ignoring a data set. And that data set is important to your expansion. Okay, let's move on, because that's not really what this transmission is fully about. The sugar crash, the chemical dependency, the feeling, the necessity to feel good. Are you making impulse decisions? Are you picking things? It's been really challenging for me during 2020. I've had to take a position that's like below my pay grade and skill set. It's been kind of fun though, like taking this little part-time thing and like being in this little store or whatever. But, you know, I haven't worked this hard physically for a job, like in a long time, since I was like, a teenager. So it's like really, it's pretty bizarre actually. But the truth is, it's been like really crazy. It's been so crazy that like, I can't even like be real about it. But here's the thing. the work is so laborious that I find myself wanting to reward myself on my break. And the environment is so toxic that I find myself needing this chemical release. And this is what Sugar Crash is all about. And this is what chemical release is all about. It's a desperate fucking situation. Like, it's actually like a really desperate situation. It gets to the point where it's like, you can't even believe like how serious it is. Like, you can't even believe how serious it is. Like, it's fucking crazy. You're like, I need some candy right now. Because you need a chemical release. So what happens? Well, we need to be mindful of our impulse, because our impulse is actually telling us about the environment. It's telling us about what we need, which means we've been driven to a point where we need aid, we need healing, we need calibration. And this is very important to notice. And what most people do is they try to get, an immediate fix. But the immediate fix is also very superficial. It works for a moment. I love that part in this track though, when it says like, I ain't got no fucking cash, because I literally did that shit. I broke my budget buying snacks, buying candies, buying sweet beverages, just to feel fucking good right now. Just so I can get what I needed. Now, you could call that a lack of discipline, but when people really need something, they'll scratch their face off if they can't get it. And that's because the environment is so unbearable. That's why the song is saying stuff like, I want to be a better me. It's not exactly the same. I don't want to take away the individuated experience, but in real life, this shit happens. People want to feel better. They want to like not claw their fucking face. You know what I'm saying? Like, this track is so deep. It's so fucking hardcore. You gotta go listen to it. Like, it's actually like the shit. You know what I mean? But really, so it's really, it's really, let's take a love breath. A love breath on 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a quick one, huh? Oh my God. It's a beautiful day today. So yeah, the sugar crash, the chemical need that we all have, this also points to, the 52% of Americans, according to the CDC, is overweight or obese. And a lot of it has to do with our chemical need inside of our body. And it's really important to adjust your ecosystem if you can, because what's going to happen is that people aren't really going to care. But be careful, because if you don't change the environment, as we were mentioning before, what's going to happen is that you're going to have to keep responding like this. You're going to keep coming back to this chemical release, the candy, the sodas, the food, the pizza. It's not just the candy, it's everything. It can be the alcohol, the ganja. You have to change the environment so that your needs can be not met, so the need never arises. So we really want to avoid these urges arising. But before we do that, let's really talk about some of the other reasons, the permeations in our life that actually permeate our life from a long time ago. We're talking about things that are transient in our lives. For instance, like ancient traumas. For one, being here on a planet, as beautiful as it is, and we'll talk about that in a moment, it's also very daunting. It's also very terrifying. Humans still don't understand their existence and why they are here on a factual level. Is that crazy though, that we don't even know how we got here? And that is fucked up. And that is fucked up, alchemized. And you have to understand that is with regards to time utility. And when we are having interactions in our daily life that we really don't want to be a part of, we look at our life we look at our lives versus our mortality, and we go, is this really worth it? And so that sort of it does compound the agitation that we are experiencing in our daily life and why we need these chemical releases. And another thing with regards to permit is that another thing is the fact that we don't really have a lot of choices in our life. There's only 24 hours in a day, and we have to get everything done. Time is one of humanity's, as far as benefit, but in a lot of ways, it's one of our worst enemies. So what most people wind up doing is they try to battle for more time. Some people are overworked. We worked really hard. We don't get enough rest. More on that in a moment. We're going to talk about solutions. More on that in a moment. We're going to talk about solutions. But just understand, these are ancestral traumas that plague us to this day. This is very serious. People don't want to die. People don't want to have a day that's so short that they can't get everything that they want, filled inside of it. So with regards to sugar crashing, it's not the only kind of crash. There is coffee crashing, there's caffeine crashing, there's crashing from, higher level substances, illegal substances, a happy day. It goes on and 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 on. How important is this moment, the sugar crash, the understanding of this chemical release and the need for this good vibe? It's extremely important. We're talking about impulsive behaviors. Why do we need it? We need the energy. But what happens is if we do this on bad terms, and by bad terms here, what we really mean is if we're doing it impulsively and we really don't have the means to do it, if it's becoming a negative habit and it's negatively impacting our routines, what we're going to experience chronically is something really fucked up, alchemized. We're really going to experience something that we didn't want. With regards to sugar, it could manifest like being fat. It could manifest like having cavities. It could manifest like missing out on opportunities because of this could actually stack up. If it were coffee, you could get dehydrated. It could be like a cramp. It could be, your heart beating too fast and a lot of anxiety. And that being a part of your experience, sweaty palms, it manifests in a few different ways. But over time, it can become a very serious issue. Over time, we might experience being diabetic with regards to the sugar. This is why we want to get this in check. You're like, wow, this is hardcore. Yes, it's hardcore. This shit is serious. Alchemized. But it actually is. And understand we're going to jump right into some solutions, because I'm trying not to laugh because I'm having such a good day. I'm actually having such a good day. The thing is, we're talking about, the reason we're talking about this, just to reiterate, is that we're talking about chemical releases. We're talking about having a holistic outlook on life and a holistic lifestyle. What do we mean by that? We're talking about having we're talking about having a holistic lifestyle. What do we mean by that? Well, what we mean by that is something going 360. We're talking about the completion of a cycle. We're talking about something being positive in the beginning and there being a positive outcome that is truly positive and good for us. Eating a ton of sugar is a very good feeling. Eating a ton of sugar, it could be, unless you ate too much sugar. But what we're talking about isn't just sugar. We're talking about substances that we use to make yourself feel good, to achieve a chemical release. and how we abuse them potentially, but more so our need for them. And our dependency on them, and changing the environment so we can avoid them and the habits associated with consuming them long term. Something I may have skipped over. Why do we want these things also? It's also on the energetic level. We have to focus on this. Gotta hold on to this for a second. People are stealing our energy. People do like fuck up our day. Alchemist. People do fuck up our day. Like people do go out of their way to be mean, to be unharmonious, to agitate us, to be unfriendly, to be over serious, to blow things out of proportion, to not pay attention to our feelings, to not pay attention to their task, to pay attention to their part. And this is something that causes us to actually be more attracted to these substances for relief. So we're going to have a few like logical, very practical recommendations right now, and I highly recommend that you do it. My favorite one being watching the sunrise, actually, which is another chemical release, to be honest, which is interesting, right? But watching the sunrise, being one harmony, being in one harmony with the sunrise. I'm just waking up. I'm having such a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day today. We are with the sunrise right now. But the sunrise is one of the most beautiful experiences that the human will actually have. It's, if not, in my opinion, humbly, the most beautiful experience. I mean, we're talking about connecting with something that has been here for a very long time. If not the thing that made your life possible at all. At least on a local solar system level. In this local galaxy. In your local galaxy. In your life. This sun is the reason that you're here. So everything that you love about your life, give it up to the sun, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up to the sun, tribe. Gods, goddesses. That's what's up. Please love the sunrise. The sunrise is also, with regards to the chemical releases, that's melatonin, that's serotonin. We need that to actually function as relaxed and happy human beings. It's also going to be a stimulant. Watching the light, having the light in your eyes. It's a great reminder, too, that you are on a planet. It helps you marvel at life. It brings things into perspective. It reminds us, it's also symbolic of new beginnings. This is going to be a very great chemical release. You could also watch the sunset. You could also stargaze. You could also stargaze. These are going to be activities that make you feel really good inside. And when you're living your everyday life, it's going to keep things into perspective. It's going to keep things in perspective. Not only on a chemical level, but on a philosophical level, which will translate to a chemical level. Another practical thing that you can do. Well, before we jump there, another thing you should consider is the environment. Having a good view. We spoke about the sunrise, the sunset, the stargazing. Having a good view. This may be like goals, life goals. But having a great view, having large windows, having light come into your space. Some people don't really like light. I don't. I'm not really here to combat people on that. I've noticed I'm substantially happier with lots of light coming into my space. Tons of windows or huge windows and tons of windows make me feel extremely happy. It makes you feel like you are outside And that's a really good feeling. And having a view of, the stars or something. The celestial heights, it's extremely beneficial. A mountain, a forest, the ocean, a lake. Something beautiful. Some wildlife. A tundra, menagerie, something. Something beautiful. Maybe it'll be a golf course for you. A river. A creek. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Maybe it'll be a great play, whatever it is. A view makes life feel better. It gets you in tune and grounded with nature. It makes you feel at peace. I highly, 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 highly recommend you go out of your way to add this to your life. Another thing is, jumping on is to the next point is water. Very practical, right? Are you consuming enough water? This is going to help you avoid unnecessary consumption and impulse decisions with regards to the things you put in your body, seeking chemical releases. So one, let's get right into the benefits of water. Symbolically, water is clear. Water is a cleaning energy. It's an uplifting energy. It's a purifying energy. Water is life. Water is abundant. Water is love. Water is amazing. It takes on the color of everything great. It reflects light. It's a beautiful mirror. I can't, we can go on and on and on and on. I could serenade you with water the entire day. It's your big day. Also, water is a mild stimulant that's going to make you feel better. Here are some things that you can expect to experience with water, and you should deepen your relationship with water so you can get the maximum benefit when you are out, working with water and choosing your water and consuming your water. But water is a mild stimulant. It's going to smooth your blood flow. By smooth, I mean it's going to increase your blood flow gently. And it's going to help with blockages. It's going to be the perfect pace for your cells to move. It's going to help your cells clean. Water is going to keep your cells clean. It's going to keep your joints lubricated. It's going to keep your brain hydrated and your cells hydrated. It's going to make your skin lubricated. It's going to make you more flexible. Your eyes will be hydrated. Your mouth will be hydrated. Your nostrils, your ears, your hands, your whole body will be more hydrated. It's going to clean out your body. And because of that, you are going to feel better on a molecular level. You're going to feel better on a bioenergetic level. So much that when you're dealing with life's daily stresses, that coupled with the sunrise, these positive habits, you are going to be less chemically dependent on things like sugar, caffeine, ganja. Not that these things are like bad. It's just that if our relationship with them becomes over dependent, we get out of balance. And some of them really aren't necessary. And we don't need these unnecessary crashes. What else do we experience from water? It's going to help you a lot, especially if you have a lot of hard work to do, especially if your job or whatever it is happens to be, extremely laborious, or if you're dealing with toxic individuals. especially in the workplace. Your joints, as we mentioned, are going to be more lubricated. Also, it's going to help regulate your internal temperature. When we get hot on the inside, we become more easily agitated. We get tired faster. We feel uncomfortable. When you drink the appropriate amount of water, you feel better. When you drink the appropriate amount of water, you feel better because you feel cool. You feel relaxed. Don't underestimate water. It's really easy to overlook water. Most people overlook the benefit of water. Most people want to substitute with another substance. Some people actually go back to the sugary substance instead. Some people actually go back to the sugary substance instead, or they go to coffee. These are good decisions, but there are decisions sometimes that are just higher, and we should exercise the higher decision more often. There's a lot of benefits of water that we did not mention. So what's next? Nutrition. Another very practical thing that you could focus on to make your day better, to avoid impulse decisions. When you have proper nutrition, your body has everything it needs to emotionally buffer bullshit in your day. Alchemized. Bullshit in your day. It can get pretty fucked up. It can get pretty crazy out there. So, you can go out there, but when your body's in tune, that's why life is so crazy. Positivity, it definitely works, but positivity doesn't work as well unless your body has vitality. When we're talking about vitality, we're talking about raw source energy that you can use to feel great. It easily and naturally converts into positive energy, vitality. So it's important that you're mindful of your vitality. So that's why we're mentioning things like watching the sunrise. We're mentioning things like consuming delicious and bountiful, abundant water and luscious nutrition. Proper nutrition, beautiful high vibe nutrition. I'm pretty sure you understand what that would be. So that would be things, avoiding things like the SAD diet or the standard American diet, avoiding things like fast food, unless it's, some fast food is above and beyond, but that's, more of an exception. But get in tune with fresh foods, healing foods. The enzymes are going to be there, the living properties, the water is going to be there. Notice that, how fresh foods have an abundance of water, meaning that when you consume these foods, what does that mean? It means that everything is there to help you digest it. When you consume processed foods, also notice that when you consume processed foods, also notice that it is something that is dehydrating your body and something your body will have to give up moisture for in order to process. This is huge. It's very, very subtle energy. Most people will never notice this. That they're eating dehydrating foods. Yes, people will have a beverage because they realize, they have thirst. But they're not realizing on a digestive level that they need to drink water, but rather they need to eat fresh food because the fresh food has everything that they need in it. Believe me, a lot of people tribe. If you haven't noticed, you're welcome. I'm not even going to go there because I know they're not noticing, because all you have to do is just stand at the end of a grocery store when everyone's walking out and look inside their carts, and you would notice that they're not noticing. I'm not going to justify the statement. It's genius. This is very subtle. So, I just want to give you more information with regards to justifying this transmission. Understand that we need chemical releases. Why do humans seek entertainment so much? Why is entertainment one of the biggest industries in the world? And that's because humans are always going to be seeking pleasure. Because it's the number one, it's the greatest thing here in our experience. Pleasure. And all the states associated with it. So, remember, in order to feel the higher levels of emotion, and we will mention this again, you need to first attain peace. Because peace, what does peace mean? Peace means safety. Peace means freedom. Peace means relaxation. So, when you have peace, what's going to happen is you can float up more easily. You're going to naturally float up to the sky. You're going to naturally float up to the celestial heights. You're naturally going to feel free. You're naturally going to love your life. And you more easily access the higher levels of vibration, of positivity. The higher states of being will come to you extremely easily and chronically. So just understand that. It's extremely, extremely important to have peace in your life. Because you will experience love more easily in its purest forms. Happiness, joy, bliss, euphoria. It will be purer because peace will make you feel innocent. You'll be more shameless. You'll be extremely happy. Another thing that you can do is exercise with regards to having positive secretions and chemical releases. And this is all going to help you avoid impulse decisions that make you feel uncomfortable. And there are really fun ways of exercising. You could dance. Dance in and of itself will make you feel really great. Because the music crosses the blood-brain barrier sonically, and in mere moments within the moment, you are having an emotional experience. So you can use music as a medication to feel positive and attune yourself to a moment, to a frequency, to a glide. Highly recommend that you do this. Participate in hobbies that you love. Do things that you love to do. And essentially, that's all you need on a practical level. We could go on and on into the details, but that's a lot. That's a lot. Meditate on that. So what do we say? We said watching the sunrise. We said water. We said nutrition. We said exercise. We didn't even mention friends and companionship. We mentioned hobbies. We mentioned all the things that you can do with self. It's more easily achievable. And it's important to be self-serving in this way and learning independence. So don't crash out there emotionally. Don't crash. It's really important because we become chemically dependent on the things that bring us out of that state. Hopefully it's only, a few times. But it could happen. It can be very real. We can bust our budget. We could start a negative continuum. And these habits may carry on with us into the future. And as a sage, becoming more sagey, as a divine, wise being, we really want to get to the point where we can be consistent and chronic in our good behavior. It's part of our existence. No judgment here. But it's really important because we are influencing other people. We are influencing other beings. And it's important to hold it down. We out here floating on a cloud of gratitude. We love you, everybody. Tribe. Have the best day ever.